Hey everybody, and a warm welcome to a new story. Today's story is called How to Spread Your Inheritance in a Really Unique and Fair Way While Pissing Off Most of the Family, from the Entitled Parents subreddit. I hope you like it and will enjoy the time. If you like my content and this kind of videos, please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. As always, this story is told from the OP's point of view. Enjoy it. This story is the story of a good friend of mine grandfather, and how he dealt with his inheritance in a very unique way. He had two sons, and each of them also had two sons. In the last half year of his life, my friend and me visited him every morning and every evening. You see, he did not want to go into a retirement home. And apart from getting ready in the morning and in the evening, he did not really need help. Now I need to explain something real quick. Back in the day, we still have mandatory service in the army for 12 months. But there was several way around it. I will only explain the most common way, since it is connected to our story. You see, instead of going to the army, you could say you refused to go to the army for ethical reasons, which was really just a formality. You simply wrote a one-page essay. Why you think you being in the army would violate your personal ethics. And they pretty much had to accept it. But that meant you had to go into civil service. Civil service could be any kind of job. Tad in a wider sense as a service to society. So these jobs ranged from kindergarten to retirement homes and anything in between. Like hospitals, homes for the physically or mentally disabled. Meals on wheels, pretty much anything you can imagine. You would be paid for that time the same amount of money you would get in the army. And had the right to certain perks like a free room, health insurance, work clothes, etc., the same stuff any soldier gets. Plus, since soldiers get free food, you either got free food or a food allowance. I did my time in a retirement home, and it was an awesome experience. I think a job like that really widens your horizon as young arrogant SHT. And really matures you and shows you what is actually important in life. Back to the story. I was just done with my time in the retirement home. And for 1 year I wanted to job around and make some money. Then one of my best friends comes to me and tells me he needs my help. His grandpa can no longer do everything by himself, but really only needs help in the morning to get ready and in the evening. Since I have learned how to do this from real professionals, he asks me to show him, so his grandpa does not yet have to go into a retirement home. He later admitted grandpa said he would rather kill himself than get into a nursing home. And he seemed really serious about it. He did not tell me at the time since he did not want to pressure me into help like that, which I really appreciated. He was one of my best friends, and I really liked his grandpa. When I was younger, I did not have a grandpa, but we visited him all the time and I became his unofficial 5th grandson. So of course I said yes. The original plan was to show him for 2 to 3 weeks, and then observe him for another 2 to 3 weeks. Then he would do it on his own. But we ended up doing it together for over half a year. Then Grandpa had a stroke and died within 2 days in the hospital. 2 days later, my friend asked me to come with him to the lawyer where the LST will would be spread. His grandfather had specifically asked that his will should be read the day before he gets buried. Which is quite unusual, but not illegal as such. I asked why he wanted me there, and he told me the lawyer had officially invited me. since Grandpa had left me something as a thank you for my service. I was a bit embarrassed, but also happy that Grandpa had thought so highly of my service he even put me in his last will. Now my friend's dad is an entitled a-hole, and the same goes for his uncle. We arrived there, and went into the room. My friend is F. You get 3 guesses who ME is, entitled as Ed and entitled uncle as EU. Ed, to me, why the hell are you here? I know that dad called you in jest his 5th grandkid, but this is for real family. EU, I bet the little gold digger hoped he would get some money in the will. Me, I was asked to be here by the lawyer, take it up with him, I have no idea why I am here. Ed, if you pulled something to get to his money I will sue you so hard even your kids will still need lawyers. F, show some respect and stop shouting. I know you two did not really give a SHT about your dad, but show at least a minimum of respect. EU, how dare you talk like that to your elders you little SHT. F, you two get exactly as much respect from me as you showed your own father none. He really shouted th4e last word, and it finally shut the two up. We sat down and still had to wait for the other 2 grandkids to arrive. The 2 sat right behind us, and what they talked about relay made my blood boil. Apparently they had both gotten new cars, new jewelry for the wife, and had planned a huge holiday. All that was paid for by credit, and they had planned to pay for it with the inheritance. None of them said even a word about missing him, being sad that he died, nothing. Only me and money. They seemed to be in competition who could spend the inheritance faster the way they planned away the money. Then finally we were all there and the lawyer read out a short letter. What I tell you here is a much shortened version, but the real thing was several pages. But it boils down to this. In recent years I more and more realized that some people in my family cared a lot more about me than others. I am especially disappointed in my 2 sons, but I wanted to be really fair and not biased, so I came up with a point system. Letter, phone call, 1 point plus 1 extra if it is very long. Visit, 2 points per hour plus 1 point per hour of travel to me and back. Helping me out with something, 3 points per hour. This is the final result over the last 3 years of my life. Ed, 8 points. EU, 10 points. Euclid 1 to 150 points. Euclid 2 to 133 points. F brother, 288 points. F, 7,341. Me, 5,883. My lawyer has already liquidated most of my assets except the house. Once it is sold, the money will be divided by the points, so we know what each point is worth. And then every person gets a share of the money according to his points. For about a minute you could hear a pin drop. Then both Ed and EU started shouting at the same time that they knew we would have pulled something and this will would never stand. Of course they tried to sue EU his kids and Ed together, but they lost, and there was a secret clause in the will that if someone sues against the will, he loses his share of the inheritance. It took nearly 3 years until all the lawsuits were over. I was blown away when we finally got the money. IA not naming a sum, but it was way more than I felt comfortable accepting. So I wanted to give at least some of it to the other 3 grandkids, but my friend finally convinced me to accept by saying to me, "You cared for him when he needed you, without expecting anything for it, which makes you 10 times more his family than any of those." F, they got what they deserved. What do you think about this story? Tell me your thought in the comments. If you liked the story and the content, please leave a like, subscribe and share this video. Also have a look into my playlist for more entertaining stories.